This is the introduction of the video. Now, usually the introduction is used to talk about what you're doing in the main portion of the video. And in between your introduction and the main portion of the video, you will find a 5-10 second little YouTube channel introduction clip is what I'll call it. Now, I don't have one of these, and today we're gonna make one. That's what today's video is about. We're building an intro. Right there, cut, throw in the channel introduction clip, move on to the main portion of the video. Let's go to the main portion of the video. My thinking for the introduction is to take this riff, which I wrote several years ago, and that I'll talk about a little bit later on in the video. So here's the riff. I want to take that riff, which I actually wrote several years ago, intended to be used as the introduction for the channel. Just forgot about it, and I have since, of course, remembered it. But we're going to take that riff, turn it into a full song, and then create a music video. From this music video, we'll take a little snippet of probably the end, and then use that as the channel intro. That is the thought process. Now let me tell you about this riff and the other section, which is the verse, and I'll show you how I wrote them and why I wrote them. Let's play the riff again. I wanted to start coming up with some lead guitar stuff. Now, doing guitar solos is one thing, and through Sir Dr. Brian May, I got really invested in doing lead guitar solos. And that little vibrato in the top of the bend I learnt by analysing Sir Dr. Brian May's playing. So Brian May is what got me into playing lead guitar solos. Stevie Ray Vaughan got me into playing rhythm stuff. And obviously improv blues stuff. But George Harrison is what gave me the inspiration to be a true lead guitar player and actually learn how lead guitar players work. Because playing guitar solos is one thing, and yes, lead guitar players will generally do the guitar solos, but a lead guitar player does so much more. Let me explain. Oh yeah, that's right. I've Got a Feeling is one of my all-time favorite Beatles songs, let alone one of my all-time favorite songs in general. And one of my favorite parts about this version of I've Got a Feeling is just Paul McCartney saying, "That's right." That's right. I don't know why I love that so much. John Lennon is, of course, playing the main riff to the song. Anyway, there's the riff. Now, John Lennon, I think, plays that during the verses as well, which is really cool, sounds awesome, and I think John Lennon deserves more respect as a rhythm guitar player, because that is difficult to do. I mean, I do understand that they played with their guitars more up here, which actually makes things a lot easier. But that's beside the point. While John's playing that, George is doing this. Here it is here. And then he goes into some percussive stuff with the A major chord. Now, the reason I'm talking about George Harrison so much is because it was because of him that I wanted to learn how to be an actual lead guitar player. Playing solos is one thing, but being a lead guitar player is so much different. The first thing that I started working out was how to play triads. And the reason that these are important is because my acoustic guitar player, for instance, might be playing an F major chord over here, which could be cool, whatever. But what do I do as a lead guitar player? I can come down there as well. I can play an F major triad. My only issue is that is in the exact same pitch range, we'll call it, as the acoustic guitar player doing the F major chord. So instead of playing an F triad here, I might instead, using my knowledge of triads and inversions, I might play the same chord, but up here using the C shape. Now we're talking about the caged system. I actually want to make a video about the caged system, and I'm still trying to work on that music theory course that I started months ago, so check out those videos if you're interested. I'll make the caged system video soon. But essentially, we've got the F chord here, just the standard F triad, up to the F chord with the C shape. And then over here we've got the F chord again with the A shape. And And then if I wanted to, we've also got the octave on top. So all these different ranges of pitch play the exact same notes, the exact same chord, just up higher, higher, and higher again, which means I can really differentiate my stuff from the acoustic guitar player. And when you're a one-man band and everything that you do for your music is all you, it's good to have that differentiation between that section and this section. Now, once I started figuring out how to do all of this to become an actual lead guitar player, I decided to write some lead guitar parts that I could use in a song. Now, generally speaking, you'd write a song and then come up with some lead parts after, but because it was my first go, I wanted to cheat a little bit and write instead lead guitar parts and then build a song around that. Instead of a song, build the lead parts around the song, we did it the other way around. And that's what gave me the idea to come up with this. That little riff thing, I just want to do a rake, that's a very lead thing to do. Onto that low E, and I thought we're in the key of E. Let's make it E minor, and that way I can do this. Because I knew that this were the three top notes in the standard E minor chord. Plus some percussive things, just because I'm playing a lead guitar part. Didn't know where to go from there, but what I did know is that I had another song that uses a delay and a reverb. That tempo's okay. I wrote that. So it's E minor, but we use that B as a major instead of as a minor. Generally speaking, or generally in the key of E minor. Your B would be a minor, but I chose to play it as a major and very much love that sound. The C to the B major. Then I added this. This is C major to the B, but of course I'm trying to be a lead guitar player, so we drop the root note and we don't have any bass, just the three notes of the triad. Again, some percussive strumming and that little pentatonic thing. This sounded like we'd fallen to the major 7 of whatever the next chord would be, which is of course that E major, and I felt that was a lot more fitting than going from back into the E minor. It wasn't as interesting. So long story short, I wanted to learn how to be a lead guitar player. I kind of did, and then I kind of wrote a riff with the idea that I'd try and play it as a lead guitar player. So from this E major chord, I needed to come up with a verse. And that's where I took inspiration from 3 different songs, one of which was I've Got a Feeling, but then the other 2. First one was Hammer to Fall by Queen, and take special notice of the last couple of chords. So I was already here with the E major chord. Right, I'm already there. And I knew through Hammer to Fall that playing this chord here to this chord here was nice. So I did that. Didn't know what to do from there, but then I took inspiration from this. I wonder if you'll work out what this song is. forgotten this bit. And then back to. That was Rosanna, and I loved this. Only issue is, let's see if you know what this song is. When I first demoed that as a YouTube short or something, a lot of people mentioned that sounded like Free Fallin' by Tom Petty. Now, growing up, I didn't listen to any of that. Mum and Dad played Phil Collins, Eric Clapton, some Michael Jackson, Johnny Farnham. There was bits and pieces of Queen and Frank Sinatra. There was never Tom Petty. So I can guarantee that just because Mum and Dad didn't listen to him while I was growing up, that I'd not actually heard that song before. At least I've not heard that song actively ever. Until someone pointed out that it sounded like that song. And then I listened to it and I went, yeah, that's a spot on chord progression, and I think I'm in the exact same key as well. That's one of the reasons we're using my E flat standard guitar. So this Stratocaster I use as my blues guitar in E flat. So that's why we're using that to at least change the key. Now, I'd expect that I could get away with just that because the riff is very different. And then the drums would be different, the bass would be different. It'd be more of a I don't know. I don't really know, but I was hopeful that I'd get away with that. But then I just decided, I think I got into Red Hot Chili Peppers, and I thought, actually, if I funked that up a little bit, I could turn that into something a lot cooler. And then I had just that idea of a funk rock Red Hot Chili Peppers thing and came up with this. And of course we need a pre-chorus. Which leads us back to that B. And then I'm not sure where to go for the chorus. Now you're all caught up. That's how I wrote the song. So I used George Harrison to figure out how to be a lead guitar player, wrote a lead guitar thing that I can now turn into just the main riff of the song, and then through Hammer to Fall, I've Got a Feeling, and also Rosanna, I came up with the chords for the verse. Sounded too much like Free Fallin', made it a little bit more Red Hot Chili Peppers funk rock. And now you're all caught up. So what we have to do now is obviously work out the drums and the bass guitar. But before we do that, we really need to come up with a chorus. What I've worked out for the chorus is C sharp minor 7 to, I was going to say A flat minor, but G sharp minor, A major to E, to C sharp minus 7, D sharp diminished, E major to A sharp major, B, B7, I think that's alright.